5 years and still talking. This is GabNet, the Great American Broadcast Network. Talk like you've never heard it before. Spotify has 180 million monthly users and access to 35 million songs and podcasts. Now, all those offerings are going to have to move over and make room for GabNet programming. Yes, at long last, Alex Bennett's Ramble, Damian Chaplin's Exchange, Jack Bishop's The Intersection, and even the franchise MC's Arena and Michael Snyder's weekly movie reviews will be fighting for space on this massive platform. Each day, the programs are updated, so you can hear them on the Spotify app, available for all smartphones and game consoles. Or you can just go to Spotify on the web at spotify.com. So, give us a shot on Spotify. There's a 35 million to 5 chance we'll get people to listen to talk like they've never heard it before. This is an Internet Network news break. IP Pingsley reporting. Our top story, the Great American Broadcast Network, otherwise known as GabNet, is now a TuneIn partner. TuneIn, the world's largest audio network, has joined forces with GabNet, the world's most innovative talk network. GabNet's partnership with TuneIn means that listeners now have 3 main ways to listen to GabNet programming: Gabnet.net, TuneIn.com, and the convenient TuneIn app for smartphones. To participate in the network's innovative citizen panels on GabNet programs, use Skype and type the handle GabNet Live, or call on your phone 347-352-0079. For more information on this network, its programs, and its hosts, log on to Gabnet.net. That's Gabnet.net. This has been an Internet Network news break.
Hey everybody, this is Alex Bennett, host of The Ramble, heard here and seen here on GabNet, Tuesday through Fridays, live at 10 p.m. Eastern Time, and I got some big news for you. Our program has moved its live video from Facebook Live to YouTube Live. After extensive tests in our GabNet laboratories of at least 10 minutes, our mind was made up and we've come to the conclusion that YouTube is superior not only in video quality, but audio as well. And then there's the ease of watching it. Here's what you do. Simply point your browser to youtube.com/Bolo Bennett /live. That's youtube.com/Bolo Bennett, BOLOBENNETT /live, and you're there. The player is waiting, and you do nothing, and when the show begins, so does the player. Couldn't be simpler. In fact, tag that page as a permanent tab on your browser, and you're ready to go. And if all of this is too vexing for you, well, just go to Gabnet.net near showtime, and the player in the middle of the page will start to play when we're on. We're thrilled with the new quality our move has provided, and while you're there, would you do me a favor and please subscribe to our channel? No, I beg you to. Hey, listen to me, I'm groveling, okay? I know, it's pathetic. I'm sorry, I'm debasing myself, and I really shouldn't be. Please.
5 years and still talking. This is GabNet, the Great American Broadcast Network. Talk like you've never heard it before.
Let me see here. Let me get my camera. There we are. Okay, move over here. There you go. See, we do it this way now because the reason we do it this way is that...
you didn't like me rolling over.
Well, yeah. Anyway.
So I don't use that.
No, you don't use that anymore. You just talk here and people will hear you.
Hi.
Yeah. This is
It's Friday.
in case you haven't tuned in before. This is
The one and
this is
only.
my ball and chain.
You better believe it.
Huh? I never see her much though anymore.
No, I'm working hard.
What do you mean? It isn't working. I never see you when
9
you're
hours
here.
in my office.
When you're
well,
here.
I don't care. I come home. I don't want to. I just want to vegetate.
Yeah. Well, you do. That's for damn sure. And she watches one binge watching show after another. You
And
don't
your
even know
point
which
is,
one is which
does it
anymore.
matter?
Yes, it does. Well, you could take time out to read.
I am reading. I've almost finished the book.
Really?
Yeah.
When do you have time to read?
I read in the car going down. I read when I have my coffee. I read on the bus going home.
Yeah. I'm looking for some. There we go. An ibuprofen here. This is because my neck is hurting me, so I have to do it.
Whatever.
Is that it?
Whatever floats your boat.
Wait, that's not. Let me take a Tylenol instead here. No, my neck has been hurting me lately. I think it's another form of cancer. I think I have 2 kinds of cancer. Anyway, so how are you?
Tired.
Have I told you lately that I love you?
No. So there.
Well, there's a reason why I haven't, because you're so busy.
Well, we're moving. Moving is very stressful.
No, we're not moving.
My office is moving, and it's very stressful.
Okay, so but anyway, I can't talk to you because anytime I talk to you and you're watching one of these endless,
Oh, come on, Alex.
you go
Enough.
shh.
Yeah, well, I come in here. Don't disturb me. Oh, you fucked up. I lost my concentration.
All right, let me. Can I explain
No.
that? Can I explain
No.
that? No, you won't let me explain it.
Who
So that
cares?
you will understand it.
I lost my concentration. Get out of here.
No, I'm posting these shows, and when I'm posting the shows, I have to pay attention to it because it's just like it's like it's what do they call repetitive work, and so if I get thrown out of repetition, I forget where I was, and then I don't know where to pick up again, and that's why I tell you, wait a minute, or if somehow there's a big tragedy going on.
Do you know I didn't listen to the news tonight, and it felt great?
Really?
Yeah. I'm going to start doing that every day.
Well, you didn't see then that Trump resigned.
No, and I don't give a shit.
And
I don't care.
And Pence said, "Well, if he's going, I'm going."
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good all the way around. Anyway, so I no, but what I was saying is that I very rarely am able to say anything to you because you're too busy watching.
And you're too busy losing your concentration.
Not like, for instance, let me tell you, like what.
Alex, come on.
Okay,
Just stop
no,
it. Just talk about something else.
No, well, I'm talking about why I sometimes go. Don't interrupt me right now. Is because I'm in the middle of trying to fix something.
It's every day.
Every day there is something to fix here.
So don't blame me when I want to come home and vegetate.
Yeah, well, I mean, I my latest thing is the server up in Canada.
Alex, I don't want to hear about
wait a
your
minute.
IT stuff. It's
No,
so
this is-
boring.
this-
And you know something? Your listeners don't want to hear about it
Well,
either.
I'm not talking about the IT here. I'm talking about something everybody out there has gone through, and that is you have to deal with somebody at. Oh yeah,
Fine.
well you okay? Then I don't want to hear about you moving.
You don't, because I don't tell you all the stuff.
Well, you should, and I would listen very intently. And
you don't. You
and
don't give
and
a fuck.
what?
You don't give a fuck.
Boy, you are so contentious tonight.
Well, it's true. You
Can
don't
this
care.
can this marriage be saved?
No.
Anyway, no. Well, here's the thing. I had to today deal with these people who run the server up in Canada and all the stuff you see, like the on-demand and stuff. I have files up there that refer to that. Well, somehow, without telling me, they changed the way you sign in. So I have had to call them, and I called them today. Do you know how many times I had to call them? 3 times until I got somebody who spoke a modicum of English. Everybody else I talked to, it was like they didn't understand what I was saying. Do I sound like I have? Excuse me. What kind of look is she giving me?
You do it in your elbow right there.
Why? Then I get snot in my arm.
Yeah, but it doesn't spread.
Anyway, it's like it was so amazing that, and you've had to deal with this, where you talk to somebody at some kind of like either technical support or
in India.
Or if you like, well, Amazon's pretty good. I don't think they.
No, because you have a telephone number for Amazon, and it's great. I love that.
Well,
number.
you give them your telephone
no,
number.
There is there is a telephone number. Then they send the code just to make sure that you're a real person. But you get right to a real person.
Yeah, but you can also go online. You have your phone number in there.
Bullshit.
Wait a minute, and you just
call.
say call me, and the next thing you know, your phone is ringing.
It's better to just call.
What do you mean? I get on just as fast that way. Well, anyways, so the one thing about Amazon is, did you ever have to talk to somebody who didn't understand what you were saying?
Yes, when people in India.
Oh, really? For Amazon?
Not for Amazon.
No, I'm not. I'm talking about Amazon.
No, Amazon's good.
Amazon's good that way, but this company, I don't know where they're outsourcing. It's like to Thailand or something, because they did not understand a word I was saying. And so I had to call again. And then what happened when I called again, I got the same person.
He asked for the supervisor. They put the microphone right into the person.
So then I called again, and I got somebody who sounded like the guy I was talking to. And I said to him, have I talked to you yet today? And he went, no. And I said, so I tried to explain to him. They did things like change the way I signed in so I couldn't sign in. And they didn't write me any letters or send me any emails telling me they were changing that. I went, oh, well, that's nice. Why didn't you tell me that? And I know this company before got really pesky. Whenever you would deal with them, they would send you a note afterwards. Were you satisfied with our service? And hey, here's what we discussed, and blah, blah, blah. I didn't even get those anymore. It's like there's no service at all. And they were taken over by a new company who sent out an email saying, we're out to give you better service than you've ever gotten before. So I had to deal with that last night and today, but I've gotten everything.
Okay.
Got everything working, kind of, but this is, let me see, are we on? Yeah, we're on. I just want to make sure that we're on. We're on. Here, I'll move over here just a little bit, then you can be more view in the camera. Yeah. Anyway, so tell me about work.
No, it's just.
Tell me, how is it?
It's not. It's a lot of work right now, Alex. Okay. It's very stressful, and I don't want to talk about it.
Well, but don't.
It's a move, okay?
But you're not physically moving the furniture yourself.
No, but I'm in charge of the whole thing, and some of the stuff's going to storage, some of the stuff we're giving away, some of the stuff we need.
What are you giving away?
Desks and chairs. And
we don't need any more of those.
No,
we have all the desks
and chairs we need.
Well, this desk, which will last longer than I will.
Teresa took one. She took a 6-footer.
Yeah.
We have a 5-footer.
I wish you could see these folks, but these are
beautiful.
They're beautiful, and they're
chrome legs.
And they will
last.
They'll last. If you want them when I die, you can have them, and they'll probably last your lifetime.
Yeah. And I'm taking 3 with us, and Teresa took one that's 4, so there's 2 more.
The only place we could have put it was over here, but that's fine where that is.
Yeah, it's fine.
I don't want to have to lift that TV set up. That's a heavy TV set. Every time we buy a new TV set, it's lighter than the one before.
I mean, this one you lifted right out.
Well, the TCL we bought at
Costco.
We both
lifted
it up and took it upstairs, and then we took it out of the box, and it was fine.
There you go.
Yeah, so I mean that was really fine, but so anyway, so you're stressed.
I'm stressed.
Oh well,
I'm tired.
So sorry to hear that, dear. Is there anything I can do to help your stress?
Yeah, just stop talking.
Wait a minute, I got to do a show here. I can't do that.
Well, it's 15:15.
Yeah.
Well.
Got 15 more minutes to talk to each other.
And those 15 more minutes.
So you haven't been paying attention to the news?
Not tonight.
Not tonight, but you haven't been paying attention?
Well, I watched Morning Joe, and then I watched your show.
The president was at the border today.
Right.
For his wall that he said he built?
No, for the wall that that Obama
Well, no,
fixed.
but he's saying that
Build it?
it's being finished on his watch, but it was started by Obama.
And it's a fix.
It's a fixer-upper.
Yeah, it's not a brand new thing. The problem is that the lies become truths when you say it enough times.
Well, that's the old Hitler.
Yeah, it's true. Say it enough.
If you lie enough about a certain thing, you keep saying something over and over again,
People believe it.
People will believe it.
Yeah.
Like he did that with Hillary. You know, he kept calling her a crook and
Lock her up.
Lock her
and
up.
they're still saying that.
Yeah, and they don't even know who her is anymore. You know, so I mean, it's disgusting. It's vile.
I hate it right now.
You hate what?
This country where it's going. It's not good.
Yeah, but we can opt out. You know, emotionally.
Well, opting out in 2023 sounds like a great idea.
I've been having to live with this for the longest time. She has been arguing, saying she's dying in 2000.
January 2023. There was an actual date, but I forgot it.
Yeah, well, because she listened to Larry Bubbles Brown with me one day, and Larry said there was a site you could go to.
And as they were talking, I'm writing all this down and going on the site.
And then you had to put in what?
A few questions. I can't remember.
Health factors?
I can't remember.
Yeah.
And then it gives you the date that you're going to die. So mine's January 2023. And the way this world is going, it's not a bad goal.
Well, I think that that's nice to know when you're going to die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's a nice goal. You'll be how old?
I don't know. I'll be up there.
You're
No.
You're 87
Alex,
now, right? You're
Yeah.
87.
Oh, Jack came
now.
home.
Oh, Jack came home?
Yeah.
Really? And is he doing better?
I don't know. I haven't
Our friend Jack Garfine.
been in the hospital almost 3
well,
weeks.
He's 88 years old, and so anything that happens to him.
Well, this last round, I think, was kidney stones.
Yeah, but it was caused by a medicine they were giving him.
Something, yeah.
So finally, they got the kidneys working and all.
I'll
that.
text her before I go to sleep.
Yeah, but it's her is Jack's girlfriend.
Yeah. I'm going to see her Sunday instead of Saturday because I got too many errands to do.
Oh, really?
I have not been down to my cleaners since I broke my knee, and that's at the end of November.
Wait
and I have a
wait
basket.
And this is more interesting than Tech Talk? I'm taking my clothes to the cleaners?
Yes.
When's the last time I ever took clothes to the cleaners? I think you took some for me one day because you wanted to get them cleaned.
Or fix a hole or whatever.
Yeah, but I don't think I've been to the cleaners in years.
Yeah, well, I work. I have to have
How much is dry cleaning
I have
these
no
days?
idea because I do it in such a big bundle. It's always a couple $100.
Oh, really?
Well, it's my winter coats and my this and that and sweaters. And I've got such a bundle and I have stuff down there from last summer because I haven't been there since November.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, son of a bitch.
So my friend's going to drive me down on Saturday.
That's not fun.
Teresa's going to take me down.
Okay, well, so you have to go. You have to go do your laundry
After the gym.
Okay, this is exciting, folks. Aren't you glad you tuned in?
My big day on Saturday.
I could be sitting here talking about something, but we're talking about that.
10:20.
By the way,
Just saying.
here are a couple items I didn't get to last night. One is that Woody Allen
Sabotaged?
Amazon is saying that Woody Allen sabotaged his films.
I thought they cut him out.
This is they did. They said tensions are running high between Amazon and Woody Allen, with Amazon saying the legendary director sabotaged his own films with his Me Too comments.
His Me Too comments?
Yeah.
What did he say?
Well, I mean, he was simply talking about Me Too in reference to all the things
Well,
he was being accused
I think it was
of.
what's his son's name? The one that looks like Frank Sinatra?
Ronan. Yeah. In response to a $68 million breach of contract legal action filed by Allen over the dissolution of his pact with Amazon, Amazon says Allen's own comments were to blame for the failure of his movies, justifying the cancellation of the multi-picture deal. I don't know how that justifies it.
I thought it was Amazon that cut him out.
No. What they're saying is they cut him out
because of things that he's saying on the Me Too.
Because of all of that. Well, you know something? I'm sorry, that's buyer's remorse. And in legal documents filed in the Southern District of New York, Amazon cited Allen's response to his son Ronan Farrow's landmark New Yorker article about allegations of sexual misconduct against Harvey Weinstein, in which Allen was quoted as saying, "The whole Harvey Weinstein thing is very sad for everybody involved. Tragic for the poor women that were involved, and sad for Harvey that his life is so messed up." He was also quoted as warning against a witch hunt atmosphere where every guy in an office who winks at a woman is suddenly having to call a lawyer to defend himself.
It's true.
Yeah. Well, I think it's more than true. I'm beginning to think that at this point...
The point is, putting your hand on somebody's shoulder and a rape are quite different.
Yeah, but it's gotten down to that.
Right.
Excuse me, folks. I still have a cold.
Just do it in that direction.
Huh?
Do it in that direction.
In that direction. Wait a minute. Let me do this. I need to do something so that I don't freeze up.
Anyway,
so all I'm saying is that I think there's an assault against men now, and I think it's grossly unfair. I mean, look, guys who engaged in that kind of behavior years ago because it was considered okay, it was considered all right. Still, even though it was considered all right, should have known better, because I did. You know, I never treated women in any other way than with respect, and I guess that's because my father taught me to do that. But you can't blame a guy for just thinking, oh, hey, it's okay to do this or it's okay to do that, because the norm was that. Now, if you want to say, from this day forward, if you do this kind of behavior, it's wrong. I mean, like Joe Biden said, well, I've learned that this is now not acceptable, and I will never engage in anything that remotely seem that way. But all these women that are going after Biden, all of them said, well, it was non-sexual, but he made me feel uncomfortable.
You know, now making you feel uncomfortable is... And look at Trump. He wants to grab her by the pussy.
Yeah, I mean,
and that's okay.
Trump makes me feel uncomfortable, but I don't think I can sue him for that. I just think that it's time maybe guys started standing up against this, like with a "not me" movement or something. You know, no, really, I'm serious, because I think it's time that they were able to say that we're not going to be accused of stuff and then have everybody believe it's true.
So take the lead. It'll give you a mission.
You know what the problem is? I don't think there are any women out there that found that I engaged in that kind of behavior. But if I did, and I were still well known enough and somebody wanted to come after me with that, I think I would attack back.
Why don't you attack back now for them?
Well, I mean, I'm saying it right now, you know. But where do was I hear something? Oh, maybe it was out. We have a lot of noises in our neighborhood.
That was like a wind noise.
Do you ever hear the noises in our neighborhood when you're sleeping?
Do I sleep with earbuds?
Yeah.
We're on 116th Street, so every fire truck, every police, every emergency
and then
ambulance.
Then we get to like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. The drunks are leaving the bars and they're yelling at the top of the voices.
Oh, it was worse down on Houston Street.
Oh, we had a bar right under.
Right.
I'll tell you what I did. Did I tell you what I did?
You threw something?
Yeah, well, here's what happened. We had this bar kind of not right under our door,
but close.
Under our window, but over to the side. And they even had a sign outside that says,
be respectful.
Be respectful of the neighbors. And they still were making noise like crazy. One night, there was this group out on the sidewalk making noise like crazy. So I raised up the window. No, I didn't shout out, folks. I got a big bucket, a big pan, a big kettle, and filled it with water. And as they're I take it and dump it all out the window. And it was kind of like you could time the water, because they're so and then I throw it out. And what the fuck?
When we were down at your place, there was a Starbucks.
Water is harmless, by the way.
There was a
folks.
Starbucks about 3 blocks south from your apartment, like down and then over a couple blocks. But that's where all the bars were in those small streets.
Yeah.
And in the morning, and I'm out like maybe 6 o'clock in the morning, you should see all the money that would be on the street in front of these bars.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I used to pick it up all the time. I mean, a lot like change.
Used to pay for your coffee at Starbucks.
Just about.
Wow.
Yeah, it was
That's
funny.
pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. But no, we have all kinds of noises, and you know, it somehow people don't have the idea that they're walking down the streets of a neighborhood where there are apartment buildings.
Sleeping.
People are sleeping.
You know what I hate are those cars that the alarm goes off, and the person lives 1,000 blocks away.
We had one go off a few years ago.
And the police finally came, didn't they?
Well, yeah, but it took them forever. Okay, but it was like one of those that was
this one on and on and on.
It was just beep, 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 beep. And then it would stop for like about 30 seconds.
I think it would stop when somebody threw a rock.
And then it would start up again. And it just kept going.
Finally, somebody called the police.
It went for, I think, something like 4 hours.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that the car's battery didn't die.
Well, somebody called the police. I think that's what happened.
I called the police.
Oh, it was you?
Yeah, I called them and I said, "There's a car that's just going like crazy." And he said, "Yeah, we've gotten a couple of calls about that."
It was like in the middle of the night.
But it took them forever to get out here to do anything about it.
Hey.
What? Hey, it's not time yet.
Well, it's almost. Might as well just start getting ready.
What you want to get out of here?
No.
Am I boring you?
Oh no.
Am I boring you?
As long as you don't talk IT and routers and all that crap.
So what router are you? Show are you watching right now?
I just saw the rest of is it called Nana? What was it, Nana? Hannah. The movie was much better.
I didn't watch any of it, and I knew it was Hannah. You're calling it Nana, so that shows you how much you care. And then you were watching something about a British thing about some woman.
Oh, that's good. She is good. I didn't realize what a good actress she is.
Well, she was in the
in
Affair.
Luther.
The Affair. She's
in,
more well known to Americans as being in The Affair.
But she was in Luther.
Yeah, well, she played Luther's psycho girlfriend.
Yeah.
And what's this thing about?
It's about a woman who was married.
Mm-hmm. Mrs. Wilson.
Mrs. Wilson. She was married and had 2 boys, and he dies. And all of a sudden, she finds out that she had another wife, and who had kids. And then all of a sudden, she finds out there was a 3rd wife with kids.
Who did that happen to?
They say it's based on a real story.
Didn't that happen to like Charles Kuralt? That he did On the Road,
Yeah.
and when he was on the road,
he was on the road.
He was on the road, and he supposedly had a couple of wives in a couple of towns. Yeah.
What was the Peter?
I think it was Kuralt. It may have been somebody
Peter
else.
Sellers movie about the boat that went from Europe to North Africa, and he had a wife in each port. And one day, he got the real sexy one in North Africa. He got her an apron and some cooking stuff, and the one in Europe, he got her these real sexy lingerie. He mixed them up. Not Peter Sellers. Who was the other?
Well, anyway. Yeah. This has happened where they've discovered that husbands have had another, and it was because of the nature of their work, where they were on the road like salespeople or whatever, so they could go away for a week at a time, stay with the other wife, and then come back home and stay with the other wife.
Have a second family.
That sounds like a great idea.
Okay,
do you mind if I
time.
take on another wife as well?
It'd be my pleasure.
Because I want double the misery.
You've got it.
Yeah.
I'll give you double the misery.
Double the misery.
Okay, let's turn on the...
Okay, hold on a second.
Let's get the...
See, it isn't that I actually turn the Skype on. It's always on. It's just that I'm not invisible now.
Call in.
Which I'm used to being invisible. At my age, you are invisible. You know, so... Anyway, so we're waiting for people to call, and as we sit here and
talk
and wait,
chat.
And
so
wait
what else
talk.
besides Woody Allen? That's it.
That's about it. You know, I don't know of anything else. By the way, you notice I'm wearing my Tomb Raider cap tonight. The reason I'm wearing my Tomb Raider cap tonight is I went and I found it, and I just knew that she was going to steal the hat I like to wear. Okay, so I know why you like that hat, because it covers all your hair and you don't have to do it up and fluff it out and do all of that.
It's up,
okay, we got a caller coming in here. Hold on.
Let's take a bet who it is.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. You hear that? That's the first caller sound. Let me see.
Phil
who would it
Meyer.
be? Ah, of course,
Hey.
of course,
Hey.
of course, it's
Good to
Phil.
see you.
How are
Hold
you?
on a second. I got to get my arm in here. Move yourself a little bit. There we go. Okay, yeah. Let me see here. You're scuba, right? There we go.
Yeah, lately.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Congratulations are in order. I heard about your first prize.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's
yeah.
great.
Best of show.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Are you a poodle?
Yeah, he's a
I'm a-
poodle.
Yeah. A Dalmatian.
Yeah. So, how are you tonight, Phil?
I'm fine. Marjorie, how you feeling?
Good, except my knee's not healing.
Really?
Yeah, it's still swollen. It still hurts.
The doctor told her it would take a good year for this thing to get
Yeah.
better. So, I'm saying, I guess that's not bad that it's still hurting, Here comes Charlie. Hold on a second while I bring Charlie into the mix and also add him to the panel, which, as you know, folks, I have a whole process I have to do here. Well, wait a minute. We got. Oh, wait a minute.
Lately,
Who is
it
it?
sounds like
It's Charlie.
I know it's Charlie, but I can't. But it's yeah.
Did you fuck up?
Hi, hey Charlie.
Hey,
Hold on a
Charlie.
second. I'm trying to find.
somebody's got something.
I see y'all.
Hey.
Wait a minute. I don't get. I'm not. Okay, hold on a second, folks.
Here we go.
No, I'm
I
trying
think
to.
you like the screen more than you like anything else.
Thank you. I agree.
Okay, let's see here. There we go. There's Charlie. Now you just didn't come up in the thing there. So now we add you to the group. There we go. There's Charlie, folks. What happens is I have to go.
Here's Patrick.
And here comes Patrick. Let me add Patrick to the
Mix.
mix. Let me see here. Go here.
Hey,
Double
Patrick.
click on that and see if we.
There
if
he
we
is.
have,
He's
I,
there.
I know we have him there, but I've got to get him here. All right. There's Darth Patrick. Okay. All right. And then I go like that, and then I go like that, and there's Patrick. See?
All right.
See? It takes a little bit of doing at the beginning, and I should keep my glasses on so
That
I
would
can
help.
see better.
That would help.
How you doing tonight, Patrick?
I am super dandy.
You never say you feel like crap or anything like that.
It's my anniversary weekend. On Sunday, it's going to be 16 years that I got paralyzed.
Don't
so,
you?
Is this the big
God,
dinner?
he'll be
You do
legal
the big
soon.
dinner night?
Yep. So Sunday is my big dinner night. So it's a celebration weekend.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what tapes are you going to watch?
Actually, I'm going to watch Tuesdays with Maury. And that was a book that I had read prior to becoming paralyzed, and it was very inspirational for me.
Oh, good.
And he, I can't think of his name. He was always with Walter Matthau in The Odd Couple.
What's his name?
Walter
Matthau
Matthau
and
Tony Randall.
No, it wasn't Tony Randall.
No, excuse me. The movie was
Walter Matthau and
Jack Lemmon.
yes,
Jack Lemmon.
that was it.
Lemmon in it, and he played the main character. So that'll be my movie Sunday night after I get back from dinner.
Okay.
And how,
all right.
do you celebrate by dancing or something?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
He rolls around.
He rolls.
Do you have a
around.
drink? Do you have a drink or champagne or some special drink?
Yeah, it's my once-a-year drink, and it's a rum and coke.
Okay.
Oh,
But
okay.
it's lime.
But
Once a year, that's it?
That's
Oh.
it. And then every 3 years, and I don't know why it happened this way, on New Year's Eve, I'll have a beer.
By the way, let me say to the audience out there that's listening that Patrick is a gimp, I guess. What do we? A gimpoid American, and
He's handy capable.
he's handy capable.
He is capable, Handy.
He
hates that.
But
know.
he's pretty well gone from the waist down, and but you never know it because you never see that on the show. I don't think we've ever seen your wheelchair really.
I've
He
seen
won't
it.
stand for
I've
this.
seen pictures on Facebook.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
I know that, but I'm saying that if they watch the show, all they see is like from the chest up.
Oh, yeah, I didn't see probably the
Part
hand.
of it, yeah.
The handles, yeah.
What? I don't see any.
Behind them, right
I
there.
see. Oh, I see that in back
He's
of
got a
you,
blue
yeah.
wheelchair with black handles.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and for me to roll back, there's really no room
Yeah.
because the desk where I'm at, the couch is right behind me.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but
Yeah.
yeah, there's pictures all over Facebook that shows that I'm really legitimately crippled. So,
What was that show? What was the show I was watching? Was it Seinfeld where they had the father's in a wheelchair and the mother keeps yelling, "You keep tracking in dirt on the rug from your wheels." Yeah,
well, that happens.
that does happen.
Oh yeah, and salt in the winter.
What happens if
Oh,
you
really?
if you ever rolled over some dog shit and then came back and it?
Oh, jeez.
Yeah,
That happens.
These
I'm
are
sure.
important questions, Charlie.
And I bet it's happened.
Do you move the wheels by holding onto the wheels, or do you have some sort of secondary thing to push with?
it doesn't matter, Phil. The thing is, like I'm sure I've said this on this show and other shows in the past. I always laugh at people who say they don't like walking barefoot outside because their feet might get dirty. Well, these are my feet.
Yeah.
I wear gloves, but when you roll through dog shit or you go to the men's room anywhere, you're rolling through piss on the floor,
Yeah.
you're rolling through bird shit,
And your
or
hands.
you know anything. And even though I have the gloves on, it doesn't matter where I wheel, Phil, because I do have there's a rim on the outside of the wheel.
Yeah, that's what I was asking.
The thing is, you roll through dog shit or you get that on there, you're still touching it when you take your gloves off.
Sure.
If I go to dinner, I can wash my hands before, but then you roll back and whatever carpeting, So, yeah.
You know, when I was in full prostate position, sometimes
Wait a
I'd be
minute, full
driving.
prostate
and-
position? Full
Yeah.
prostate position?
Yeah, I had a prostate.
You had your prostate removed, Phil. Haven't lately been in a prostate position.
Well,
I think
anyway,
the word you're looking for is prostrate.
No, I wasn't prostrate. I was in a pre-prostate. You know, I still had the
before.
prostate. So, I
Pre-prostate.
had this thing called a trucker's friend. You know, because you'd be driving down the street.
No,
and,
okay.
You know, now you grab it and stab it. Can you use a trucker's friend and then just open the door and pour it out? So,
I have an empty Mountain Dew bottle in the car.
yeah.
Because one, nobody would be able to tell what it is if
Except the person that drank it because you didn't pour it out.
there's times I've had to use that. And then no, I don't just pour it out in public because you could get arrested or get cited for that. So I wait till I get home and then dispose of it.
Just dump it.
Uh,
And with
at
that,
least-
folks, I'm going to say good night.
Oh, is this the time for us to kiss?
Yeah.
Oh, look at that. That's really hot. Come on.
Oh, you didn't even get tongue on that.
Oh, my goodness.
No
Get in the
tongue.
room.
She
guys.
never even tongues me anymore. You know, it's just night. Yeah, and I'll kiss you on your shoulder when I get in bed.
That's what
I have to kiss her on the shoulder when I get in bed because.
You make her give back the hat?
Oh, hey, give me the hat back.
No, she did. She
Oh, you
stuck
did.
it on the thing.
Oh, okay, she did. All right.
Do you take a deposit?
What, for the hat? I should,
Yeah.
shouldn't I? Anyway. Well, we got room for more people, folks. Lots more people. Anyway.
Not on that screen.
And we got quite a few, more people are watching this now than were watching it before.
Most likely.
While it's on, but afterwards, I'm thinking of not even putting it up on Facebook anymore, because nobody watches it on Facebook.
Probably not necessary.
Well, fuck Facebook. I hate Facebook.
Facebook's Zuckerberg is saying that he wants the government to regulate it. I guess he's getting ready to sell off his stock, huh?
I don't know. I mean, regulate what, Phil?
He had made some sort of statement that he felt that the government ought to come in and regulate these social platforms, including for content and and so forth. I guess he doesn't want to be the one that says you can't post this stuff here. He would rather the government be the bad guy and say you can't post this stuff here.
Well, I mean, he does have a point that when the government tells you you have to, then you can just blame the government for not
Right.
letting something on or for censoring something or whatever. For years, for instance, broadcasters have said, well, we don't want to use that kind of language because we could get in trouble with the FCC because the FCC won't let us do that. But nobody's ever gone to the FCC and fought to get those words on general broadcasting, which by today's standards, they probably should be allowed to do just to be competitive to cable. Okay.
Maybe after a certain time of day.
But they can still use that as an excuse, so they don't have to do it, So maybe that's what he means, that if they regulate it, good. Tell us what we can do and what we can't do, and we'll work within that, just as long as you don't stop my advertising, or affect that. But I mean, I just think that there's just something about Facebook that's kind of like I don't like. I just don't like. I'm not.
I don't either. There's been another breach of data.
20 million people or something.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess people have access because they buy information from Facebook. We always wondered, how does Facebook make any money? And now we know.
Well,
they
of course,
sell our shit.
They're in the business of selling data,
Right.
and the data is you. And I don't know that I am bothered by that because, after all, they are supplying a service to me for free, right? And so how do I pay for it? I allow them to use the data what they find out about me or find from me. And if I
we didn't know that that's
we
were
didn't know
doing.
that was what was happening.
Right.
And now that we do, and now that it's out in the open, and now that they're honest about it, okay, that's
they've
what
been
they
caught.
and now that they're honest about it, we have a choice. We could either keep using Facebook or not use Facebook. And you as a Republican should understand that,
Well, I don't believe that there should be regulation. If he can't regulate himself, it's a publicly traded company, but it's not a government.
My question
entity.
is, what do you regulate?
The rules for posting. I would imagine. It has to do with hate, and it has to do with
something.
fake news.
Here, I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong on this, Patrick, because
Okay,
you'll take
you're
me to task. No, I don't think they should stop people from posting hate. I think that it should be an electronic Hyde Park. Hyde Park is a place in London where people go on Sunday, they stand up on a soapbox and they can yell and scream about anything, and nobody stops them. The police don't stop them because of the subject matter or whatever. And I kind of think of Facebook as an electronic Hyde Park.
Alex,
And I don't want to say
is one guy on a soapbox with 40 pigeons and 6 drunks.
Well, that's the same. That's the same as a
Facebook
podcaster.
is 3 billion people.
That's same as a podcaster.
No,
One guy with 3 pigeons who are listening.
Right. Well, no, this guy had 40 pigeons, but
no. But all I'm saying is, let everybody say what they got to say. I have the right not to read it or to just not go to their particular page. Caveat emptor, buyer beware, and just let the
what if it's Russians? What if it's the 400-pound guy in New Jersey that's spreading divisive information? Is that allowable?
Phil, people should know that anything you read on Facebook, you better not take at face value. That the fact of the matter is, because anybody can post anything there, there's no reason to believe that anything that's on there is necessarily true.
You remember the days when your mother said, "If it's on TV, it must be true"?
Well, I mean the problem is, okay, and you're guilty of this yourself. People will say something is totally wrong, is totally untruthful,
And they'll say,
well,
opinion. Where did you see that? I saw that online. It's got to be true. Well, no, I would say if it's online, it's probably not true.
Well, I get most of my crap from CBS and CNN.
Yeah, sure you do.
I do because I have a Roku. I don't even get Fox.
Yeah. By the way, Fox News is on Roku. Yes.
Only the clippets. The little snippets.
No, the live is there too.
I can't get it because I don't. I never. I stopped using Comcast.
Yeah, you and your excuses. Patrick.
Well, you got to wait for me to get it.
Patrick's got his hand up.
Using regular media, printed media, or even website, there's a story that's been out now for 2 days. Charlie's probably aware of it, but you guys probably aren't. That a sports writer supposedly broke a story on the Green Bay Packers' former coach and their quarterback, Aaron Rodgers. And there was this big infighting for the last several years, and that led to the firing of the coach because the quarterback has all this power and there's all this disagreement and this hatred. Well, the story only cites one player, a former player, and the rest are all anonymous sources. The thing is, there's so many anonymous sources that it almost makes the story unbelievable because you would think somewhere there would be more than one or two former players or coaches that would be able to go on record because, one, there's no repercussion. If they're no longer with the team and the coach is no longer with the team, there's no reason not to, come out and be honest about it.
Right.
So it's sort of the same thing, Phil.
Are these guys retired?
Well, the coach was fired.
No, I know, but are they retired? Are they looking for jobs elsewhere?
No, the other players are all retired and they're done.
Oh,
but
okay.
then anonymous sources, we don't know who they are, and they may not exist. And what I'm getting at is, it's just like Facebook. Sometimes you have to look at an article like this that's very salacious, and a lot of people who don't like the coach in Wisconsin here, or that didn't like, what was going on, they're going to want to believe it because it's what they believe. But if you read deeper and there's no actual foundation, you need to take it at face value. And sometimes face value is it's bullshit. So like Alex is saying, you can't believe everything that's on Facebook, and you can't take it to heart. And I don't. I mean, I look at stuff, and a lot of stuff I just roll right over.
Yeah, we were joined by Jeff, by the way, in case.
Hello, everybody.
That's Jeff Stein up there in Connecticut.
Hey, Jeff.
Yeah.
I am.
Thank God you called because it was two liberals against two conservatives. Now it's
it's not good enough to have it 50-50, huh?
Listen, I wish
you don't want a fair
I
fight.
wish it were 50-50, and I wish we'd like Charlene Martinez would call us, or I forget her name in Hawaii.
Renee.
It's been so long since she's called. And I don't know why she hasn't called. Maybe she just got tired of it. I don't know. Hey, let me bring something. This is something I brought up while girlfriend was here, and this is about this Woody Allen deal, where he's suing Amazon for $68 million.
Did they cut his deal?
Because they went and dropped him. He had still, I think, 3 pictures left in his deal, and that was worth $68 million, and he wants his money. And they say their argument back, and I is this a good argument or isn't it a good argument? They say that Allen's own comments were to blame for the failure of his movies, justifying the cancellation of the multi-picture deal.
What comments?
Well, okay. Here's what he said after allegations against Harvey Weinstein by Ronan Farrow, which is Woody's son, actually. Isn't it?
He claims.
He claims. It looks like it's Frank Sinatra's son. The whole Harvey Weinstein, this is what he said, the whole Harvey Weinstein thing is very sad for everybody involved. Tragic for the poor women who were involved. Sad for Harvey that his life is so messed up. He also was quoted as warning against a witch hunt atmosphere where every guy in an office who winks at a woman is suddenly having to call a lawyer to defend himself.
What's wrong with that?
Well, they are using that.
Even I think that's right.
I agree with him. Okay, but what happened was they're trying to get out of this contract, saying that, well, he sabotaged his own movies by saying that. Bullshit. This is buyer's remorse, okay? Woody's pictures didn't do as well for them as they thought, or that TV show he did was not...
I liked it.
I thought it was okay, but it didn't do that well. It wasn't received that well critically. And then he turned out a couple of pictures for him, Wonder Wheel being one of them. And I don't know how that did or didn't do, but is the criterion how many people went to the movie theater to see it? No. It's how many people watched it. Well, if they didn't want to watch Woody Allen movies, which were always kind of a art house fare, right. And you maybe made a bad deal by doing that, then don't have buyer's remorse. You owe them $68 million.
Or you got to settle, negotiate, like Trump would say.
Well, what I'm getting sick of is I think men are being attacked. Okay.
Yeah, look at that Joe Biden.
Well, no, come on. No matter what you have to say, don't you feel that Joe Biden's being given a pretty bad time about this?
I think he should ask permission of his grandchildren before he gives them a hug.
Yeah,
Is it okay, little Johnny?
Yeah. I mean, you may not like Joe Biden, but come on. Does he deserve to be attacked?
He's getting a raw deal.
Yeah.
A raw deal.
Yeah, and that's a Trump, dyed-in-the-wool Trump guy saying that.
It's an accusation. And like everybody that runs to judgment against Trump or anyone else.
None of them say he ever made a sexual advance towards them. They said, it wasn't sexual, but I felt uncomfortable. Okay. All right. Yes, Patrick.
A good number of these on media that you can watch. I mean, if you want to compare Biden to Weinstein, Weinstein did it in private and kept that stuff behind closed doors so nobody would know he was assaulting them. Joe Biden, it was on news, it was at various campaign stops. There were hundreds of thousands of people around him, video cameras. I mean, it's not the same thing.
There's a difference. Weinstein, it was a quid pro quo. It was an understanding. You wanted to further your career.
Okay,
this is the couch.
But still, I will go along with those women who want to say he was using his power to have me have sex with him,
and they use their sexuality to further their career.
Well, it's not they use their sexuality. He assumed their sexuality. He found them attractive, and he invited them over. I mean, let's face it. It wasn't like the Harvey Weinstein gaffes weren't known to everybody. In Hollywood, I mean, I'm sure if a woman said, I'm going up to Harvey Weinstein's room at 3 o'clock this morning, there were probably people around here who went, I wouldn't do that if I were you. Harvey's reputation. But they did it anyway. Now, At what point does it become they're bad as well because they knew and they didn't take the precaution?
It's not.
And I'm not excusing Harvey's. I'm not excusing Harvey's actions at all because he was using his power to seduce women, or to not even seduce them, to just Can you imagine that ugly body all over yours? Oh my God, Jesus Christ!
That would be an improvement for me.
Hey, you're fucking George Clooney compared to Harvey Weinstein.
Yeah. That's just the face.
And by the way, let's add this to this. If those same women went up to George Clooney's room at 3 o'clock in the morning, you wouldn't hear them complaining about it. You'd hear them saying, "Guess who I fucked last night?" That's what they be saying. Harvey Weinstein was caught like this because he was so fucking ugly. And you would have to want to vomit in your hat to have sex with Harvey Weinstein.
You ever see those casting call things on RedTube? It's no different. These women weren't even getting paid. They with the hope of maybe they would get a porn spot.
Look. One of the women who assailed Harvey was Gwyneth Paltrow, and she owes him a debt of gratitude for winning an Oscar for what was a mediocre performance. He went out and he did all the publicizing and all the work that had to be done because he knew how to do it to get her an Oscar, and she got an Oscar, and that Oscar was worth how much money to her in future earnings?
Blowjobs.
Where's Jeff's moving? I see.
Yeah.
Her career was made by Harvey Weinstein. Okay.
Yeah. A lot of people.
And she probably slept with him. I have no doubt she slept with him. Hold on a second. I'm going to sneeze.
God bless you.
Wow. Still this damn cold and allergies on top of that. Anyway, I'm sure she slept with him, and I'm sure she knew what she was doing when she slept with him. And she won herself an Academy Award for having slept with him. She got the lead role in Shakespeare in Love. And then she turns around and goes, Harvey Weinstein's a beast. Oh, come on, Gwyneth. You're not one to complain. I'm sorry.
But she jumped on the bandwagon. When it's like the kid that drops his lunch tray at school, and then the whole cafeteria starts, jumping on him and yelling at him and laughing. It's the same thing. He was vulnerable. These people felt that maybe they were taken advantage of, and it was time for them to retaliate.
What he did, and don't get me wrong, what he did was disgusting. Okay,
Yeah.
If he did what they say he did, he used his power, he used his prestige to get women to fuck him. All right. Certainly that casting couch is not a new thing in Hollywood. Harvey didn't invent it. It was invented by the big movie moguls of the 30s and 40s. And into the 50s. But nevertheless, I don't excuse his behavior, but I have to say that it's a little hypocritical of some people to put him down for something which they cashed in on before this thing ever happened.
And he wasn't the only producer that was doing this.
No, there were quite a few. There were a lot of them,
Right.
I mean, I always found it a disgusting practice whenever they talked about the casting couch in Hollywood. Yeah. I found it disgusting. I just thought it was horrible. A person should be allowed to get their job on their merits, in which case Gwyneth Paltrow would have never been in Shakespeare in Love, okay? I mean, I would have done a much better casting job than that if I were Harvey Weinstein.
Well, I slept on your couch for a week during the mudslides in Sausalito, and you put me on the radio. Was there any connection there? Was that the casting couch?
Yeah, that was the casting couch. Yeah.
Bennett's casting couch.
But I mean,
it was actually comfortable.
Yeah, I mean, I just think it's kind of amazing. But the way guys are being attacked today, I think that. I mean, you've got to be very careful today. You almost can't ask somebody out on a date. I mean, I certainly. Well, I always made it a policy never to have a relationship with anybody I worked with. Did I ever have?
I had a policy. I had a relationship with anybody that would talk to me.
Yeah. But I think that anybody that worked with me or worked for me, I never had a relationship with, never touched, never did anything like that. I might hug them hello or something, or on their birthday give them a hug or something, but there wasn't anything sexual about it.
Yeah.
You know, and I've worked with some very good-looking women in my time. I mean, Christy Andrade Frazier, she has another name now, who was my producer in San Francisco for a while, and then I, used at Play TV, is one of the most, at least in her day when she was younger, and she even is to this day, an absolutely ravishingly gorgeous woman. Okay. Never even came close to even touching her, okay? Because I worked with her, and I never came on to her because the nature of our relationship was as two people who worked together in this endeavor, and so I never wanted to ruin that kind of relationship.
Is that the one that you were accused of beating to within an inch of her life in Finland?
That was my newswoman Lori, and I never ever touched Lori either, and I never even hit her. Okay, and she even said I never hit her. This was some crazy woman that was rooming with her at the Olympics, who heard me having a yelling and screaming argument outside, and I think I was slapping my hand or something, and then she went and told the Coca-Cola people, well, he was beating Lori last night. And so when I come in to do my show, they take me down to the basement, the Coca-Cola police, right? Yeah. Literally the Coca-Cola police. And they hold me down there and they say, you're not getting out of here until Lori comes. We gotta find out if you hit her. I said, I never hit her. So she came in and they said, did Alex hit you last night? And she said, what? Alex would never hit anybody. We were having an argument, but you didn't hit me. And they went, oh. And then they realized that they were in trouble because they were jumping the gun awfully fast on that. I
had a similar thing happen.
And by the way, that was a case of the guy not being believed before the woman was there to say, hey, he was okay. Yes, Patrick.
Did they at least give you a coke to leave?
No, what they did is they took the woman who told them this story and they put her on the first plane back to the United States. Oh. And then they apologized profusely, okay, and profusely to my radio station as well for what they had done. But they still, I was being literally held without what's the word I'm looking for? Being held without my permission in this basement at the Coca-Cola
You were being
Studios,
detained as they investigated the accusation.
Why not wait for her to come in first and ask her, and then if she says yes, he did, take me down to the basement.
Yeah, what they should have done.
Yeah. Yes, Jeff.
I want to describe what my wife told me today.
Yeah.
About how they feel about men and what really irritates them. And she reminded a guy that we used to work with, and he would come over and give her a hug, and she goes, and he always had this smell, cologne,
Old Spice.
Well, I don't know.
High karate.
I never got to kiss him.
Something like that.
And I don't know if she ever kissed him.
Yeah.
Or he kissed him. But anyway, he would kind of like come in, and as she says, he was definitely too much in my space. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I mean look. That
yeah, he could smell his cologne for the rest of the day.
Oh, God.
I mean, something like that is uncomfortable at the worst and disgusting smell wise, But then again, how many of us ever had an aunt or a grandmother who used to have bad breath, who used to, hey,
or too much cologne.
Yeah, or too much cologne.
Too much perfume.
Yeah.
Too much perfume.
Yeah. Yes, Patrick. By the way, are we gonna get any more calls from people tonight? Is this gonna be it? It's fine, but the screen looks like I'm missing teeth. Yes, go ahead, Patrick.
I would rather deal with the cologne issue because I had a very good friend of mine. He passed away a couple years ago, He was, I would say, about 6'5" or so, and we had taken a flight down to Florida for a vacation, and he sat in the seat next to me on the plane, and he put his arm up on the top of the seat, and I was under his armpit, and he never used deodorant. And I tell you, that's a 3.5-hour flight from Milwaukee down to Orlando.
Yeah.
And oh Jesus, so I'll take cologne over pit smell any day.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you something.
France.
I just, my whole thing was I never liked to make anybody feel uncomfortable. I think to me the worst sin was if I knew a woman and somehow in coming on to her or whatever, I made her feel uncomfortable. So I never did anything that would make them feel uncomfortable. In fact, they'd almost have to. Somebody once said, Alex is such a gentleman that a woman probably has to expose herself to him to say she wants to sleep with him before he'd give it a try, and that's true. I mean,
true.
You were.
What about Red? I mean, she sent you pictures.
Yeah.
First.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. But and that's not to say I didn't have relationships with women who were like fans and things like that. Come on, otherwise I would have never gotten laid. But I don't think that was. But again, I didn't. They had to make the first move. I never made the first move. And I certainly never put them in a position where they felt that they were uncomfortably being groped or grabbed or thrown on the bed or whatever. Okay, that just wasn't my modus operandi.
Can I have my handcuffs back?
Yeah. No, but I mean, I keep trying to think if I were famous today, okay, is there anybody that could come forward and truthfully say that I treated them badly? And I don't know that there aren't some women that would come along who are like nutcases who will say he did this and he did that and lie through their teeth. And then it's my job not to prove that they're wrong, but to prove that I didn't do it.
Do you remember the stalker that I got rid of for you?
Yeah.
You used to call the station like.
Yeah, but I never knew her. I'll tell you what I had happen to me once in New York. And I've told this story before, and don't stop me if you've heard it before.
Okay.
I got a call from this guy, and he said, I'm so-and-so's father. And I said, so-and-so's father? So who's that? He said, that's my daughter, and she's pregnant, and she says you're the father. And I said, I'm sorry, I've never met your daughter in my life. And he says, you're just saying that. And really, he was confirmed that I got his daughter pregnant. As it turned out, I'm trying to remember how it turned itself out, but eventually she came clean and said she was lying about me. That when he asked her, well, who's the father? Because she didn't know, she mentioned the first person that she could name, and it was me because she listened to me every night on the radio. But, if that had been pursued, it could have cost me a lot of money to prove that I didn't have a relationship with her.
Could have gotten arrested.
So
wasn't she a minor?
Huh? I don't know if she was a minor or not. But that's little or no worth. I mean, the fact is that she just said that, and you can be accused of things. That's all there is to it. And it's your job to prove you didn't do it.
Yeah.
So guys are always considered guilty before proven innocent. Always. And that's what's happening with this Me Too thing. That's why I find the Me Too thing so egregious. It's not because I don't think women have been wronged and that they should be heard and that the people who wronged them should be dealt with. But a lot of people are, shall we say, now taking advantage of the Me Too movement to really lie about people.
why did people rush to judgment on Kavanaugh? Why was he guilty and others aren't?
Because he was going for a post which carries with it a great deal of moral decency. Wait a minute, let me finish. Let me finish what I'm saying. Of moral decency. And that his moral decency was being brought into question. And they did hear the woman. And quite frankly, I believe her. To this day, I believe her. But because I felt she was very creditable. But you know, they voted the way they voted. They voted against what she was saying. But she put herself out there, and I don't think somebody puts themselves out there unless they feel that they've been wronged.
She was thrown out there by Feinstein.
No, she wasn't.
Yeah,
no, she wasn't. No,
yeah, she wanted to be anonymous.
No, she wasn't. No,
and they exposed her.
No, somebody came to Feinstein with this story, okay, right. And she didn't. It came to her with this story, and so she checked into it and asked her if she would come before the group. And let me see here. I'm trying to hog writer. There we go. You're a hog writer, right? Yeah.
Patrick has been wanting to say something.
Hog rider is Kevin, ladies and gentlemen. He's back at his normal mic now, which means he's sitting erect. Yeah, or something like that. I didn't mean that. I didn't mean that in a sexual sense, ladies and gentlemen. He made me feel uncomfortable.
Patrick actually had his hand up so long that he had to put it down, which is very unusual for Patrick.
He made me feel uncomfortable because he was sitting erect. Anyway.
I thought there was another microphone down there. I thought Kevin had another microphone coming up from the bottom there.
Yes, right. Exactly.
It's not that big. Come on.
Yeah. So anyway, what were you going to say?
It
Patrick?
Is when you press
Patrick
the button
Patrick had his hand up. Did you say, Phil?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, Patrick.
Well, the point I was going to make with the Me Too movement, people jumping on and false accusations, or at least unfounded one to begin with, is exactly what Jussie Smollett did with his false claims, that he made it more difficult now for any sort of hate crime in Chicago to be initially believed, unless you've got 100% video and all this other stuff, because he supposedly had all this, and then it turns out it's not, and you've got the two brothers on video buying the crap, and all he did was make it more difficult for people who have legitimate crime against them. Well, and it's the same with these women, that the ones that are just saying it to either get back, kind of like what you were accused of, Alec, with the pregnancy thing, just trying to get back at somebody or whatever. You're making it difficult for actual legitimate cases of rape or sexual harassment or whatever. And it goes against what the whole Me Too movement was supposed to be.
Well, I mean, what you're saying is true, and I mean, Jussie Smollett. The worst thing about Jussie Smollett, and the reason a lot of the gay and black community are mad at him, is because he did make this a travesty. He did make it so that other people who come forward who were assaulted, who were treated in this manner, will not be believed as easily, just simply because he set the tempo for how you accept this sort of thing. It's very sad. It's very sad. But it's also sad because we also rush to judgment because the guy is black and he's gay, and so all our liberal sensibilities go, oh yes, he must be believed, he must be dealt with, he's got a case here. Isn't that horrible what happened to Jussie Smollett?
Hey, and you know what a Republican would say? that's 2 strikes against him.
Yeah, but you know something? Yeah, but you know, on this program, I said there's something about this story that sounds awfully fishy to me, and so I was the first one, and I said it because, hey, what am I doing? A podcast hardly anybody listens to, and so who's going to give me a bad time, right? But I was right. Yes, Patrick.
The thing that made me doubt it initially was when it took place, not time of day, but the weather, because the weather was exactly the same in Milwaukee as it was in Chicago, and it was, I think, minus 35 degrees outside, and I couldn't imagine anybody doing that sort of thing, especially with a news where it would take time. If you're going to do that in that weather, you take a baseball bat, club them on the knees, and then you run away.
Right.
Something like that. There was just too much time and laying in wait for somebody.
Yeah.
God damn, if you've ever been out in minus 35 degrees weather, you don't want to be out there more than 5 minutes, to get in and out of your car, and that's it.
Yeah, let's wait for better weather to beat the crap out of them.
Especially Nigerian guys, it's usually 200 degrees in their home country, and for them to be out in that kind of weather, I don't think they want to be there.
If it would have happened now, if he would have said now, in the weather it is, in the 30s or 40s or whatever, I would believe it more than I did then. Because like I said, minus 35, throw a hot cup of coffee outside, it turns into snow.
Well, the city of Chicago isn't letting this thing go. They're filing suit against him for how much did it say?
130,000.
130,000, something like that. That it costs to investigate this situation, and there's still the possible federal charges dealing with the so-called letters that he got, supposedly, threatening him.
Fake anthrax.
Well, and the fake anthrax, which is easily imitated by Johnson's baby powder, which, by the way, is dangerous because it'll kill babies. But, that's...
the guy that sent the phony bombs, the supposed Trump supporter from Florida.
Yeah, the guy with CNN. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, his bombs couldn't explode, but it's basically the same thing that Smollett did.
Yeah.
And it's going to be interesting to see how they handle that.
Well, no, didn't he already say he was guilty or something? Didn't he take a guilty plea on that deal?
I don't know.
I think so. I think he did. Yeah.
He said he did it. He admitted that he paid those guys.
Not Smollett.
No, we're talking about the other guy. We're talking about the guy with the bombs.
Florida,
CNN.
The van guy.
I know.
The guy who had the van that said "Arrest me."
Right.
I mean, it was it's amazing. I mean, it was just amazing. His van, it just said, "I'm the guy." I'm the one. But I think he pleaded guilty or something, or took a guilty plea or something like that, if I'm not mistaken.
I guess he was a bodybuilder and some other things, so maybe he thought that life would be better in jail.
Probably, probably.
He wouldn't have to pay for a gym membership.
But I mean, we're living in times now where accusations. I mean, it's interesting to have you, who's a Trump supporter, Phil, and doesn't like Joe Biden, to say Joe Biden's getting a raw deal.
Well, he is. I mean, just because I'm a Trump supporter doesn't necessarily mean that I don't, that I don't speak what I believe to be the truth.
Yeah, and it was an absolute bad thing that has happened to Joe Biden, and I mean, I think some other Democrats had a lot to do with that. Okay?
Yeah, I think Soros and Media Matters.
What, they don't want Biden?
No, they don't want Biden. They want the commie in Vermont, Sanders.
Well, how do you know Soros wants Sanders? I never heard
Sanders.
Soros didn't want Sanders.
From what I heard that he was a big donor.
I heard well, he may be a big donor to every Democrat. He may be hedging his bets on that.
Could be, but I for one reason or another, Biden. The other guy that they're going to go after soon is Schultz. And I actually kind of like Schultz.
Of course you would, because he's a guy who's completely inept, has an inability to even articulate.
I know that's not true. Have you ever listened to him?
Yes.
Did you listen to his town hall yesterday?
No, I don't. I don't follow these guys around. I'm not a groupie.
Well, I didn't listen to it either, but there were some excerpts that were played. He sounded okay to me. He's a centrist Democrat, kind of like
Hate him
Trump
already.
Yeah. So listen, you know what happens? I go out. I work all weekend to create these templates for what you see on the screen. Here, right now, you see my 6 template, but I did a 3, I did a 6, I did an 8, and I did a 12. Did I waste my time by going higher than 6?
No,
because this week nobody seems to be calling.
It's like pants. You gotta be able to buy those sizes in between.
I gotta wait for the large size. I mean, I only had a royal flush one day this week, or a full house.
A full house.
Yeah, one day this week, and it was the night you weren't here, by the way, Phil. They
Yeah,
call like crazy when you're not here.
Yeah, I know.
Right now, I'd have Boddicker.
Boddicker
Boddicker would be on, and what's his name?
Tom Berkeley,
Tom
Yamaguchi.
Tom Yamaguchi. But
I think if Tom wanted to call, he'd call. Wednesdays are a good night for him.
Oh, are they really? Oh, okay.
And now Scott might have an issue. I mean, somebody that goes to church 7 days a week has definitely got something to atone for. And,
well, that's going to make him
and
want to call.
He can't listen to anything that doesn't agree with his point of view without taking a drink or getting crazy.
Well, that makes
I respect him for staying away because I don't want him to have a heart attack.
That makes for a good show.
Yeah, well, it does, but I don't want somebody to get hurt over it.
And we haven't heard from Ray, but I think he's doing a play, right?
Yeah. Mamma Mia. He's going to have to sing.
When's that over with?
I think it's the 11th through the. Gave me a card or something.
Yeah. So we haven't heard from him. Bree hasn't called in a while. Hasn't called at least this week.
Mm.
He
called like once since he got back to Dubai.
Yeah. Where are you, Bree? Why aren't we hearing from you?
He's not waking up this early.
He's not waking up this early. I even have one template here for a single picture in case one of the people, like Bree, calls and then he's traveling around Dubai or whatever. I can just go to that frame alone and put it full screen. So
does it take much to switch templates?
No, not really. You've been seeing me
just
do
push
it.
Of a
Well, I've done
it
twice tonight.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of now I've got sitting here waiting still. The one we're watching right now, so in case somebody calls, I'm ready to put their name in there.
Maybe you need some mid-sized templates.
What? I've got one for 3, for 6, for 8, and for 12.
All right.
Okay. I don't need more than that. So. Anyway.
Do tonight.
Huh?
You do tonight.
You see. I mean, here's for the audience to see. Here's the one for the 8. See, and here's excuse me, that's the one for the that's the one for the 8, and this is the one for the 12. See, see, so I have them for all of them, but this is the one we're using now because we just got 5 people. How you doing, Kevin? You're sitting up tonight. You're not lounging.
Yeah, I'm trying.
Yeah.
I got a really lousy connection tonight, though.
Yeah, is Kevin?
Wait a minute. Hold on a second.
He was frozen on the
no,
YouTube.
He looks fine here. He looks great here.
Well, now he's moving.
As a matter of fact, what?
Okay.
Yeah,
no, he's not frozen. He's just very stiff.
Well, he's he's in pain. Or are you in pain? Is this working? Is the thing working?
No, I'm fine.
Yeah.
I just got a real lousy connection, so I might be freezing up.
Well, no, you're not freezing up.
Okay. Well, you guys are freezing up. At, 10 seconds at a time.
Is there somebody in the house using a video game or something online or something? Wait a minute. Now he just froze.
Now he's frozen.
Now he's frozen.
Yeah.
I think we lost him completely. Well, I'll just keep it frozen. Oh, there he's back. Well, now he's frozen again. If he hangs up, I'll just keep him there. He'll stay frozen until he calls back, and then it will automatically start working again. So,
or until the end of the show.
Yeah. Well, we had Jeff the other night.
It's working now.
Yeah, we had Jeff the other night. Now you're okay, Kevin. Don't worry, just freeze it.
I won't talk.
No. If let's say you have to reboot, what it would do is freeze up your picture, and then when you reboot it and got online, it would automatically pop into that space again. So I'm fine with you if you have to, reboot or do something like that. But anyway, Jeff the other night left us, and he was gone for like 20 minutes, and we didn't realize it because it was frozen. Because when somebody leaves, the picture freezes; it doesn't just go off.
So
that's
in the
first night.
In the sixth space, you can't put a square that says "room for one more."
Well, I've done enough work on this, Phil. I got a note from Bree. That's why I know he's out there. Who said, "Why don't you make a thing so that it just says a number to call or whatever in the space that's empty?" And I'm thinking, I just don't. It's not that I don't have the real estate for it. It's that I don't have the. I don't have the real estate in the sources and the scenes that I switch back and forth to and from. I don't know.
You're supposed to talk about the stories, not about the technology, right?
Yeah, right. We don't want to. You don't want to know how the steak is, how the cow is killed.
Salami.
You just want to see how good the steak tastes. You know.
With the background, it doesn't matter if there's 5 or 6. You would have some of that background below you anyway, even if there was 6 on this.
No, it looks fine. It
looks fine.
I'm not.
Did you figure out why Tom was a square and not
Well,
horizontal?
that's because he has his camera made to be that size. And what happens is I've got these squares all appropriated to a size, to a configuration, so that when he calls, it just fits in there. If you may notice, it was right in the center of what would have been the rectangle. And if somebody has let's say they're using a phone and they turn it sideways, the picture is not going to turn sideways, but the thing is going to be like, portrait mode within that frame. So
I see.
Nice.
Yeah. It works nice, It works okay. With my luck, the company that does the thing that allows me to put the pictures in here just got bought up by some Norwegian company. And with I
heard they just sold to Skype today.
No, please, no. No, but what happened is that all I could think of immediately when I heard that was, oh no, they're going to start charging for the DVI now, for the thing that allows me to put the pictures on here. So,
do you know anything about that company and why they would want to buy the technology?
I never heard of them in my life. Okay, they're supposedly a fairly big company in Norway. But which means they own a gas station.
There's six employees.
Yeah. I have no idea who they are. But apparently, there's a lot to buy there. The company has a thing called a TriCaster, which is a video switcher, which we used at the studio when we were doing that show live every day. And you remember we had the virtual sets, the whole thing, and that was a nice, inexpensive piece of equipment comparatively. It was like a $15,000 piece of equipment. And then they had a thing called, for years they've had a thing called Lightwave, which is a 3D rendering program, which has been used in a lot of movies like Titanic and so on. And then they just came out with this whole DVI studio thing, which is I don't even know how to describe it. Somebody said it's an IP. It takes the picture.
Video over internet.
Over internet, or over your network. Over network, not internet, but your network. I don't understand how it works exactly, and I don't care. Again, I just care that I've been able to make things look this way. Well, that bored people. I just lost about 7 of them. Okay, well, let's see what we can get into here.
Your audience is getting older and older. You may not have lost them because they were bored.
Yeah, they may have died.
Right.
Is what you're implying. Listen.
Yeah, hey, you're pretty fast.
Yeah, I'm sharp. I'm really sharp. Yeah. Oh, God.
Any sharper, you'd be a number 2 pencil.
Well, somebody, who was it, wrote me and said, Alex, you may think you're getting older and you can't keep up with things and so on, but look at what you just did with the look of the program. And you did that all yourself. And I went, yeah, you're kind of right. I still kind of got it. I can still do it. So I'll tell you, I was trying to tell girlfriend this. I was dealing with, I have this this company I use in Canada that serves some of my stuff, serves a lot of the like the on-demand stuff that I do. I have it coming off the servers up there and so on. And all of a sudden, I couldn't get on. And I call them, and I say, I can't get on. And they go, oh, well, we changed the way you get on. You have to put in your IP address. I went, you mean I don't put in alexbennett.com any longer? No, you got to put in your IP address. I said, don't you think it would have been nice if you had called me? And by the way, we changed your IP address. That was the other part of it. He said, wouldn't it be nice if you had written me or called me or put out a memo to this extent, Oh, well, we're sorry, So then I went through the whole problem of, they weren't getting the signal out, so the on-demand wasn't working. It was a mess. So finally, I get part of it cleared up yesterday, and I finally figured out how to use the IP address in the stuff that I do to put stuff up and online. But there were some problems today I still had, and I called him. And the first guy I got, he couldn't understand what I was saying. He couldn't understand English. Now, I'm calling a company that runs out of Canada, and these guys definitely weren't Canadians.
Speak of French.
Yeah, I mean, and I finally I hung up on one of them, the first one, and then I recalled back up, and it was the same guy. So I said, can I talk to somebody who speaks English better than you do? I don't think that's insulting. I think that it's a clarion call to him to learn the language a little better. Okay. And he goes, okay, I'll turn you over to another one of our people. And I get put on hold with the music again. And then the guy, nobody comes. He hangs up on me. So I call back, and I finally get another person who, again, was somewhat English impaired, but not as bad as the rest of them. I could understand him. Yes, Jeff.
My wife's grandmother used to say, "Speak United States."
Speak United States. Do you speak United States? Yeah. I don't know where they got these guys. I mean, is Myanmar now doing,
I just keep telling them to repeat
support?
Themselves.
No, but it's maddening because I'm trying to solve a problem. I've got a problem that's distressing me, and you're only distressing me more by not speaking English.
Well, they want to teach you to use online chat.
Oh, really? Oh, that one's really good. I hate doing the online chat thing. Although I did get
especially when they don't get it.
One day I did get something solved by it. I tried it, and I because it was easier to. I think it was like on GoDaddy, because with GoDaddy, here's the problem with GoDaddy, and we use GoDaddy for our internet stuff. And the trouble with GoDaddy is you call them up and they say, okay, what's your problem? And I go, and they pick up pretty quickly, and it makes you feel good. And what's your problem? And you tell them your problem. And they go, yeah, and let me check and see if that's the problem. Oh, yes, there is a problem. Okay, I'm going to have to turn you over to hosting support. I went, well, where the fuck am I now? And so they send you over to hosting support. Now you're waiting online with, and by the way, GoDaddy has this piece of music they play, and they're famous for it. Go online, go to YouTube, type in GoDaddy on hold music, and there will be a recording of it for you to hear. And it's the worst, and it's over and over. It's like it drills into your brain, and it kind of carves out a big GoDaddy on your brain somewhere.
It's a small world after all.
No, it's worse than that. It's worse than that. Anyway, so, and finally you get the guy at hosting support, and he goes, well, let me check and see if that's the problem. And he says, yeah, it looks like you got a problem. Well, listen, I'm going to have to take this higher up. Yeah, I'm going to have to take this higher up. This happens every time. I'm going to take this higher up. Stay on the line. I said, can I maybe hang up and you can call me back when you've talked, those people have solved the problem? No, we'll stop working on it if you hang up. Now, there's some reason why this is the case, that they can't hang up on you, because then you lose your place. So I have to stay online while some moron in the rest of the company is trying to determine how they're going to solve the problem. And then they get back to me and they go, well, they're going to go working on it now. You can hang up.
But it's like that in all the queues, because probably in the level that you're at, if you hang up, then they automatically get another call.
Yes. But I don't give a shit. They should figure out a way around that so that they can say to you, okay, we have your thing noted. Here's your ticket number. We will pass this on to our higher ups and we'll get it taken care of for you.
Well, when you sign up for premium service,
no, there is no premium service here. I have the service. I pay them enough money every year. I pay them many hundreds of dollars a year. So, between the Gabnet email address and all of that, I gotta, they make a little bit. I mean, I'm not their biggest customer, but, that's a company that relies on a lot of small customers. But all I'm saying is, come on, folks, you're making millions of dollars. Why can't you do something about customer support? Why is it? Why are you sending me off to some foreign country I never heard of in my life? That's having a turf war or something. And next thing I know, they're going to do technical support in Venezuela.
In the early '80s, when you needed technical support, I had a program. I think it was called WordStar.
Yeah.
Oh, and, you got. If you called, they were wonderful.
Oh, in the early days, they were all down in Silicon Valley, and a lot of people made a living. I knew people who were in technical support, and they made a good living off of it. Right. And then all of a sudden, one day, these companies went, well, it's cheaper if we off-site this to India.
The Philippines or wherever.
And all those guys are doing is reading a little FAQ thing about what can work and what doesn't work, and if this happens, that might be what the problem, how to solve the problem. And
I'm sure in the early days it was the same thing, except they had somebody that would stick with you and work with you until it was fixed.
Yeah, but I mean, they also spoke English. They were also techies. Everyone I ever knew worked in tech support were techies.
They only used to tell me one thing, RTFM. To this day.
What's that?
Read the fucking manual.
Yeah, read the fucking manual. The fact is, they really did a bang up job in those days, and now it's just, and I don't think I'm talking. This isn't tech talk, folks, because I'm sure all of you have gone through this where you've had to call a company. I mean, here in New York, something goes wrong with my cable. I dread having to talk to FiOS. Because they just really don't want to talk to you, Verizon doesn't want to talk to you. They'd rather you, talk to them in chat or whatever. And you could wait. One time I waited for an hour to get somebody at FiOS. Now, that's as a customer, that's unreasonable, And so I'm sure you all have that same problem.
Yeah, I spoke with Apple today.
Yeah.
And they were good. I just go on to Apple. I schedule a phone call. They call me back in 15 minutes.
Yeah.
They work with you as long as you need to work, and then it's done.
They are good.
And I was talking to a guy in Pennsylvania. We were joking about the weather the whole time.
Yeah, well, Apple is very good. I've had to deal with Apple on a couple of occasions.
And you don't have to call them that often, but when you do, they're right there.
Yeah, they were right there fast, and the guy was somewhere in America. Although the worst thing that ever happened to me is I was just having great problems when I was downtown with my cable service, right? And because it was always, the picture was always breaking up, and I know what it is. It was water in the line somewhere, but what they had was a policy that unless 4 people from the apartment building complained, they weren't going to go look at it.
Yeah.
Right?
Should have called them back 3 more times.
Finally,
said, "Hey, I'm in 407."
Finally, I got somebody at the company, I can't remember how, who finally got a hold of me and said, "We'll do something about it. It seems like you've really been in anguish for the last couple of months." This is how I learned about torrents online. That at least my internet was working and I could download all the TV shows I wanted to watch without it having glitching all the time, right? Which was illegal, but Jesus, I'm trying to buy the service. Anyway.
It's not the same cable line.
At one point, I'm yelling, and it's a time when I got to yell and scream, and this person's talking to me, and obviously does not sound like they're in the United States. And I said, "So what country am I talking to?" And she said, "Long Island."
That's in Indonesia, isn't it?
It's in Indonesia, yeah. I mean, that really bothered me. That bothered me a great deal. I felt embarrassed. Well, so what do you think about Trump? We haven't really talked about Trumpy boy. By the way, do you notice what's in back of me?
Your doll?
Yeah, Trumpy Bear. There's Trumpy Bear. Wearing a Citic T-shirt that Marjorie had. Anyway, Trump was at his wall today, which it turns out isn't his wall.
Yeah,
he repaired it.
Huh?
His thing repaired it. I guess it was originally started under Obama.
Yes.
And Trump just doesn't want to leave stuff in disrepair. It's called infrastructure.
Yeah, but he went down there to act like he was building it. This is what we're doing about the wall. It was already there.
They built some of it.
No, they didn't. They did nothing but repair it. And I think they put a plaque on it. They put it on there with Trump's name.
Oh.
What did you say, Jeff?
And people died.
Jeff, what did you say?
Trump lies.
Oh, really? Let's say he just embellishes on the truth. Okay?
That was all Obama money.
It was all Obama money?
Yep.
And he went down there and was taking kind of credit for it, wasn't he?
Of course.
Well, yep, you got a nice little sign up there, and he took all his credit for it. That he's going to build another 200 miles on it.
Yeah,
I think he says it'll be 400 miles.
Probably 400. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, and when's that supposed to be finished?
Tomorrow.
Before the end of his second term.
Oh, really? Before the end of his second term? I just want to live long enough to see that wall finished.
Hey, I don't think you will, but hey, didn't they say that 70? There's a 70% chance. Tony faxed it to me, so I'm not sure it's real, but a 70% chance that Trump will be reelected.
Who says that?
Tony.
I haven't seen anybody.
That's Tony. Tony is the empirical word on that sort of thing.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, he got it.
Oh, I'd say there's a good chance Trump is going to be reelected. Yeah, I think America's that stupid.
Nah,
I think America's that stupid.
It's only you fringe guys that have been conned by the Russians that
didn't
think
I
that
just
Trump
give
is
you the
no
good news that I thought he'd probably be reelected?
Yeah.
I can't imagine it. I can't imagine that the way in which he's acted and comported himself and all of that would get this man reelected. I mean,
there was another article that said, I think it was in Drudge, that they think he wants to lose. Let me see if I can find it.
He wants to lose? We thought he wanted. I think he wanted to lose the last one.
Yeah. Well, maybe that works for him.
It's a strategy.
I mean, I don't think he was planning on winning.
No, no. I think he was more surprised than Hillary.
Yeah, yeah. Although I don't think Hillary was surprised though. Story has it that Hillary actually pretty much got the word that everything that they were prognosticating privately was that Trump would win. So she was kind of ready for it.
But the media outlets had Hillary winning in a landslide,
Well,
right up to the last minute.
You know what they were doing? I think they were looking at the popular vote. Okay, I think they were looking at what would be the popular vote, and then figuring if everything were right, then the Electoral College would float that way.
They constantly were going over to a board with Electoral College things, and they said if it's this state and this state, Hillary will win by this. If it's this state and that state, Hillary will win by that. You know how they touch the board, and
where did the board?
They were coming up with the calculation.
Where did he? On what part of the board did he touch it?
In the Me Too part.
The Me Too part. Yeah. But
what's on the doll?
Let's see
what
here.
Looking for?
Charles Kuralt had a second family with a house. Oh, this was earlier when I was talking about Charles Kuralt. Prior to his death in 1997, a search for a skit on YouTube named Norm MacDonald's Charles Kuralt was portrayed as a swinging philanderer. Yeah, he kind of was. He was on the road, and he was on the road.
Boy, he was.
Yeah.
Was Fox News, Tucker Carlson wonders aloud whether Trump actually wants to lose in 2020. So.
Well, what do you think?
He had a better life before this. I'm not so sure he wants to win.
Yeah.
I'm not so sure that isn't his strategy.
Before when we would have 5 people, that would be fine. We wouldn't feel bad about that. But now you notice it more with this.
You have 6 with you.
No, but I mean, okay. If we had 5 people like we have now, it would look just fine. But now it looks like something's missing. Maybe I should go back to the old way of doing things. I don't know.
Yeah, there's nothing missing.
But I can't go back. I've got to use this new Skype, which is
just build one more template for 5. That's all.
No, I'm not going to do that because this is the template for 5. I mean, what am I going to do?
Well, you space it out.
How do you space it so that 5 works?
You put you in the middle, 2 at the top.
4 corners.
Yeah, and use the corners.
Good suggestion.
Nah, that's too much trouble. I like it. It's fine this way. And, if nobody else wants to call, where's Charlene been, for instance, as an example? Where's
she calls Jack.
We haven't heard from Ray, and we haven't heard from Bree. And we haven't heard. Who else did I think about the other day that we haven't heard from in a while?
Richard Johansson.
Richard Johansson. Yeah, and Richard's out there. I know because I see him online.
And we haven't heard from John.
So Richard, give us a call.
What's your friend that likes beer? John Rockwell. We haven't heard from him.
He died.
I know, but we haven't heard.
That's not funny, Phil.
Oh, come on.
God knows. I've lost too many people lately,
Yeah.
I mean, I lost John, and I just lost my lawyer. He'll probably bill me from beyond the grave, but what?
When you heard the lawyer died,
yeah,
did you get a bill?
I heard it from another lawyer.
He'll send you a bill.
Really nice guy by the name of Harris Tabak. But, it'd be nice if you sent me a bill from beyond the grave. I would feel that was
But would you pay it?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Checks in the mail.
Yeah, well, he was a good lawyer. Did you say you voted for him?
Who?
My lawyer? Who told me the other day?
That was Tom.
Huh?
Tom said he voted.
Tom Yamaguchi.
Tom, yeah.
Because
I didn't know your lawyer ran for anything.
Well, in Alameda, I think he ran for district attorney.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
I used to live in Alameda, but I don't think the way they do the ballots, there's like so many people on it, and then you got to vote for 3, and you don't really know who you're voting for because of the way they do this, that ballot system. I know Tom was saying he liked it, but I want 5 people. I want this guy, and if this guy gets the most votes, he becomes president.
Okay, on the eve of his 80th birthday, Francis Ford Coppola is ready to embark on one of his dream projects. He plans to direct Megalopolis, a sprawling film as ambitious as Apocalypse Now that he's been plotting for many years. They report that Coppola revealed the plan on Wednesday. He has his script, and he has begun speaking informally to potential stars. I've heard Jude Law's name among those who might potentially be in the movie. Mike Fleming of Deadline, says that he viewed some of the second unit footage for the project in Cannes a year ago, and reports the film is set in New York and is an architect's attempt to create a utopia in the city combated by the mayor. Well, this doesn't sound exciting, does it?
Sounds like Batman.
Fleming quotes Coppola saying, "So yes, I plan this year to begin my long-standing ambition to make a major work utilizing all I have learned in my long career, beginning at the age of 16 doing theater, and that will be an epic on a grand scale, and I've called it Megalopolis. It is unusual, and it will be a production on a grand scale with a large cast. It makes use of my years of trying films in different styles and types, culminating in what I think is my own voice and aspiration. It's not within the mainstream of what's being produced now, but I'm intending and wishing and, in fact, encouraged to begin production this year." You know where he can get it made?
Philippines.
No, Netflix.
Yeah.
Netflix would pay the freight on something like this. It says...
You know why Apocalypse Now costs so much
money? He also has
a
recent project called Apocalypse Now Final Cut. So once again, he's going back to the vault and taking out all the dribs and drabs of Apocalypse Now.
You know why it cost so much money to make Apocalypse Now? It was because of the monsoons that they were having in the Philippines when they were filming it there. I had a girlfriend that was a nurse on set, and in the Philippines.
Yeah, but they also had other problems too. There was some uprisings in the Philippines, and so the helicopters, which were lent to him by the Philippine Air Force and government, some of them had to be recalled right in the middle of shooting a scene. You know, so he had that problem. He had one problem after another. That thing made him a very sick human being. In fact, if you saw the difference between Francis Ford Coppola when he started that project and the way he looked when it was finished, he lost something like 50 pounds.
Wow.
It drove him crazy. There's a great film that was done by Eleanor Coppola. She shot kind of like home movies of the making of the film. Yeah. And it's called, what's it called?
Apocalypse Now Final Cut?
No. It was the name of the book that it was taken from, and it shows him literally going crazy. I mean, he's losing it in this thing. I'll never get this thing finished. I mean, and then Brando, that fuck. He hires him, and Brando just sits there mulling over the script for days. And he's only got him for like 15 days or something. And he's going, what should I do with this scene? I don't know what I should, And then all the script and everything had to be on cards on the ceiling and on the walls. So when you would look at Brando, he'd be like going, well, I don't know. I mean... The horror, The horror.
Yeah.
So I mean, it was an amazingly difficult. Oh, the jungle set got blown down because of the monsoon. They had to rebuild it. Yeah,
I know. I think it was like 3 months delay. Like I said, my girlfriend worked on that set.
Yeah. Patrick has his hand up.
Yeah, the only thing I'll say about Brando's performance with having to read on the ceiling and that, it added to the whole drug culture that he was in as the the Buddha character that he was. So it kind of very well with.
Wow.
I've heard nightmares about him on set and just dealing with him, and I couldn't imagine hiring him because of the headache.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing that makes him a real prick, is that he came in, stalled Coppola, was very irresponsible about just the way his working procedure on the film. That was driving him nuts because he was eating up time that could be used in actually filming, and literally not respecting Coppola, a man who really gave him back his career with The Godfather. So you would have thought the guy would have been a little more loyal to Coppola than to try and kind of hold him up when he was there, and he wanted a little more money for this and a little more money for that, and yes.
Oh, I thought The Island of Dr. Moreau was his revival of his fucking career.
Oh yeah, that one was terrific. I watched that and I went, what the fuck is he doing? I always found that at the very least that Brando was an interesting actor because he would make acting choices that were kind of interesting. He did a thing called Missouri Breaks in which he played a bounty hunter, and he played it where he had a bad tooth that was hurting him all the time. So throughout the whole film, he's like tapping his, little business like that, and you go, that's some good acting because he's really creating the fullness of a character. But when you saw Dr. Moreau, you went, what the fuck is he doing? He's taking a fucking paycheck.
Was he also the one that sent the Indian that occupied Alcatraz to get his Academy Award?
No, but he did send a Indian to get his Academy Award.
Oh.
Yeah, he never showed. What did he win it for? Was it Godfather?
No. I don't know.
Last Tango in Paris? I can't remember which film he won the Academy Award for. But he won Academy Award, and it was Shasheen Littlefeather was her name.
Yeah.
Gee, how do I remember that? I can't remember my wife's name, but I can remember Shasheen Littlefeather.
He was big in our town because he was on the Wild One, and that was based
in
on
Hollister.
our town here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it filmed in Hollister?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was about Hollister
it was about the motorcycle gang here. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Johnny's bar. He's painted on the side of the wall here.
Yeah.
It's a big thing here. About
that was
every year they
the booze
celebrate
fighters.
that.
Yeah.
In Hollister.
But Brando made some good choices. He did a thing called Bedtime Story, which is a comedy with David Niven that was later made into Dirty Rotten Scoundrels. And if you ever watch it, as a comedian, he was terrific. He was just terrific. Turned in a tour de force performance. But, Anyway, hear that? There goes the theme. Yes. Well, we only finished up with 5 people tonight, which in normal circumstances we would have gone, hey, a nice a bunch of people. But because there's that one little place missing, it's like I'm missing a tooth.
Bree is right. You put up a thing that says, call now, call now.
Yeah, right. Well, Bree, call now, okay? Anyway.
Yeah, that would have done it.
Hey, listen, we finished off another week here. I managed to get through it and solved all the fires that I had to put out for this thing. I just like one week where suddenly nothing goes wrong, but, not gonna happen. Hey, thank you very much, Phil, up there in the left-hand corner. Jeff, thank you. Thank you, Charlie. Thank you, Kevin. And Patrick, always a pleasure to have you there. Why don't you give a big wave goodbye to everybody, and I'll give you a big wave back, okay? Bye-bye, okay? There they go, folks. Wait a minute. I guess I got to do that. It didn't work when I pushed the button. Anyway, that's it for tonight. That's our citizen panel. And they're going away, and I'm hanging up on them. And I'm going to take us offline and make us invisible. And so the next show, which is The Intersection with Jack Bishop, can be here. And then we'll be off for the weekend. We'll be back again next week, starting at 9:30 with The Exchange and Damian Chaplin, followed by moi at 10 o'clock Eastern Daylight Time. Same time, same station in life. And in the meantime, if you see her, tell her I love her, okay? All right. Bye-bye, everybody. Have a nice weekend.